Hi, I'm Martina Coppenrath, and I live in Sarasota, and I work for Coldwell Banker on Longboat Key, and I am a runner. I started running about 5 years ago. It was just a challenge that I gave myself because I hated running, and when I started I couldn't even run around the block, and so I made it a mission that I was going to become a runner. And I joined a program downtown, the Galloway program, and ran my first marathon in West Palm Beach, Florida. And it was raining and windy and pouring, but I did it. And I thought, well, you know, now I'm probably going to be hooked on it, but I wasn't. I wasn't one of those runners who wanted to run long distances a lot. So I started doing half marathons after that. And I raised money for the Leukemia Foundation one year and went to San Francisco and did the half marathon there. And then I even decided that I wasn't going to do long distance running because I wanted to have fun with it. Running is where I get creative and where I have time with my thoughts to just work things out in my head. And I wanted it to be something that I would do forever, not something that I got tired of or that became grueling. One day I was lifting weights in the gym and I didn't have my sneakers on, but I had a lot of energy, and I wanted to do a little run, so I got on the treadmill just on my bare feet, and it worked out great. It was like, oh boy, this is easy. And so I did that for a couple months, and then I decided to try it outside, and that became my barefoot running career. I have been running barefoot for about 2 years, and I have to say I've had no injuries whatsoever running barefoot. I had more injuries when I was wearing sneakers, and I think it's because the way you land in bare feet, it's more like when you were a kid, you were just, you know, you'd run and you wouldn't think twice about it, and you land differently. When you have sneakers on, you land on your heel because of all the cushioning from the sneaker. So that's where a lot of the injuries happen. When you run barefoot, you land on your whole foot, which takes the impact off of your body. There's like 3 times more impact when you land on sneakers because you land on the heel, and it's much harder on your body. So I found that the older I get, you know, the harder it is to run, and now to run with sneakers is just not even an option. The only way I can run is barefoot. I decided as one more challenge, even though I don't like distance running anymore, I decided as another challenge, it was really just to get away to Orlando for a weekend, but they had the Disney Princess Women's Half Marathon in February, and so a friend of mine and I went up and spent the weekend, and I ran the half marathon barefoot. And so for all the people that think I'm crazy, the people in the race were actually really, really supportive. They were just, they were terrific about it. And so it was a really great experience. I run everywhere. The only place I don't run is where there's gravel. And you know, actually running on the beach is a little harder because you tend to step on more seashells than you do on the pavement. And when you're running barefoot, when you're running in general, you always look down. You're always watching where you're going and where your feet are landing. So, I think that's why I haven't had any injuries. And it's funny because when I am running on the bridge, if there's broken glass or anything up ahead of me, people will always tell me ahead of time. They'll watch out, there's glass, or so. On the beach, it's not quite as easy. You step on seashells, but it's fun too. I don't know if it's so much a tip about running as it is about life, but it's just, you know, don't quit until the miracle happens, because there's always a miracle, and it always does happen. And running is like that. You know, you start out not being good, and somebody once said to me, anything worth doing is worth doing poorly. And that was always the opposite of what I had heard. But, you know, when you start something new, you're not going to be good at it at first. It takes practice, it takes patience, it takes time, and it takes perseverance. And I think that's true of anything. Nobody else will run barefoot with me. I have seen one guy run on the bridge barefoot. He holds his his flip-flops in his hands, and but he's the only other guy that I've seen do it, and everybody else kind of figures that's my gig and not theirs, and they really don't want to try. But I do have great running buddies, and you know, they just put up with it. I usually run about 7 to 9 miles a run, and I usually do that 2 or 3 times a week. But I love to cycle, so I cycle a lot, and I do hot yoga and power yoga. So I really like to break it up. For me, it's all about, if I'm going to exercise, it's got to be fun. And by doing different things, it's always challenging and it stays fun. I think the correlation between running and selling real estate is really the same. It's about you know, perseverance and endurance and getting to be good at what you do, so that you can be in it for the long haul, and more than anything, enjoy it. My feet have no calluses. Everybody asks me that. They think they always tell me my feet must look like shoe leather, and they don't actually. They're soft. They're not calloused, and they're not hardened at all from running. It's a great exfoliator. My favorite part about barefoot running is about getting to feel like a kid again, and just that giddiness and that glee of just going outside and having fun.